posture. So we can either have the heels quite close to the groin, which will go into the hips a lot more, or you can take the feet further away, which will go into the spine a lot more. Malcolm's going to lay down on his back and he's going to bring his feet together and open his knees. If he wants to increase the pressure on his hips, he'll place his feet on the bolster that's next to him, and this will increase the opening of his hips. So if you're seated, a good idea would be to sit on a little cushion because it will tilt you a little bit further forward. And so if you raise up your hips, you'll come a little bit further forward. We go into the postures very slowly. I'm going to put a timer on. I'll let you know when the final minute is with a 4-minute hold. And when the final minute is due, I'll let you know, and you can either softly come out of the posture or go a little bit deeper into it. So the posture is feet further away, the spine, feet closer in, the hips. Take an inhale and exhale back. Now you know that you can use your cushions or your bolsters to support you in your postures. Might be an idea to use the cushions to begin with, and then start to see if the body wants to yield a little bit deeper. This is a great hip opener. The timer is on. It's going to be a 4-minute hold. And we first start to focus on our breath. That's what we really need to focus on, is our breath. And we notice that as we inhale, we raise up a little bit, and as we exhale, we'll go deeper into our postures. So if you're in my position, you have flexion of the spine. So this is probably counterproductive if you've got back issues. So stay quite tall and keep the spine quite straight. If you've got no back issues or no sciatica, continue to round the back and bow into the posture. There's no pulling, there's no tugging. We're just going to observe our breath, and we're just going to observe what's happening in the body and see if it allows us to open a little bit more. There will be some silent moments. I'll stay with you, I promise, I won't disappear. But the silent moments are for you to really focus on what's happening in your body, what's happening in your mind, and what's happening with your breath. The most challenging of yin posture is to stay in stillness. Complete stillness. And we find what we call our edge. A posture where we know something's happening. We're just outside of our comfort zone. We're not in pain. Pain's an indication you're going too deep. We're just slightly out of our comfort zone, and we yield to this posture. So you've already completed your 3 minutes. Some of you may find that quite sufficient and may want to come up for the final minute. And some of you will move into that final minute with full awareness. You may want to find a deeper edge. So you may want to take that nice long inhale and exhale, find you into a deeper edge. Your final few breaths in this posture. And when we decide to leave, we leave very slowly, just nice and slowly rising up, very slowly. If you're up already, it's too quick. We're going to just move nice and slowly rising up. Oh, those long hills are quite nice. Okay, we're going to just take our hands underneath the knees and separate the feet. So they're going to be wide apart, these feet, so that we can work into the hips in a moving position. Fingertips come behind you. Lean back a little bit and drop the knees to the left and then over to the right. So internal and external hip rotation. If your feet are too close together, your knees are not probably going to get to the mat. So take them wider. And we just really enjoy that internal and external hip rotation. This is generally where I tell you all to sit on the floor and not sit in your nasty chairs, because if you're sitting on the floor, you can do this at any time. Okay, super long legs. We're coming into another forward bend. I'm going to give you options. Again, it's 4 minutes. The legs are wide apart. I'm going to take my body over to the right leg. I'm going to offer 2 suggestions for this. So you can have the bolster over the right leg. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knee and pop any cushions you want underneath your knee to support those hamstrings a little bit better. You don't have to have the bolster if you don't want them. And I'm just going to show you one posture and I'll show you another. See which one you want to do. I'm going to lengthen up and then we twist and then we'll just simply roll over that leg and we'll take any props that we require. Now there is another way that you can do this posture. And it may take you a little bit further forward, but it will involve the opposite knee. We're just going to take that foot behind us and lengthen up, and then twist, and then exhale, come down. So you have 2 options. You may get a little bit of cramping here, which means that you maybe take that option instead. So take your options, have your props, take an inhale, exhale, twist, if you want to, bring that foot back, and exhale down. So we're here for 4 minutes. And at any time you have any pain, anything that feels untoward, simply come out of the posture. Take a long, deep inhale. Don't rush to get into these postures. Let the body decide how deep it wants to go. Exhale. You may be very high. In fact, if you have back issues, you will be high. You will just work your hamstrings. This is internal hip rotation on this left leg if you're here, and we're working into the hamstrings on the right. Notice that Malcolm's taken one of his hands behind him to make the posture a little bit more accessible. So lots of different options for you. Those who've been practicing for quite some time, the hand that's inside the long leg can go on the outside, and then we'll work into the upper body a little bit as well, and then we're back. There's no rush to get into these postures. We move into them with full awareness of what's happening. Anything tingling, burning, shooting, all little red flags that you've gone too quick, too deep. So back off. Don't judge yourself by how deep you go. Just enjoy what you're doing. Where are you feeling this posture? Bring yourself back to the mat. Don't let that mind drift away. Where is the deepest sensation in your body right at this moment in time? Completed our 3 minutes. If you want to take that extra minute, we're heading for that extra minute. If you don't want to, you can lift up and ease out of the posture for that minute. You can even bring the hand inside the leg again, or if you didn't have it on the outside, try it on the outside of the leg. You're just about to finish that full 4 minutes if you've been in the posture. Again, bring the hands to the earth and we move very slowly out of it, because as we release the postures, we find different sensations. If you have this foot behind you, lean to the long leg and bring the leg back. And just have nice little massage of those tissues of the body. So we all know that we're working our connective tissue, the fascia that surrounds all the muscles in the joints. And by these long holds, we're opening up that fascia and connective tissue to give us lots more range of movements. I'm sure if you've been practicing for a while, you'll know that you've had lots more range of movement. Okay, again, we're going to the opposite side. You'll have those options. Remember, we do the twist before we take the forward fold. And we can have both legs wide, or we can pop that one behind us. It's 4 minutes again. Whichever way you've done it, lengthen up, twist, and exhale, take your bow. Again, you'll see that Malcolm has one hand behind and one hand in front. And this allows him to go a little bit deeper into his posture. We're going to get a real tug in the hamstrings. Just make sure it's not too intense. We'll just bow to our postures. And again, those who've been practicing for a while, the hand that's inside may want to come onto the outside. And then we'll just bow to our postures again. And if little noise challenges come to you, we try to ignore them. Just being aware of your posture and your breath. Where are you feeling it? What's happening? Are you still focused on your breath, your posture, your sensations? So we're just coming up to that 3-minute mark. If you want to rise up a little bit and ease out of the posture, or take that next edge, just see what's happening, see how it feels. And again, we bow to the posture. So your last couple of breaths in this posture. And then slowly bring your hands to the earth. We rise up very slowly. And if this knee is behind you, come back in again. We'll bring that leg out and back. And again, we'll have another lovely massage of those shoes. So we're going all the way forward. And again, it's 4 minutes. And again, spine issues, keep your back quite long. No spine issues, forward flexion. Sit on a cushion. It's really going to help you if you sit on a cushion. Have bolsters or cushions in front of you. If you're fed up of having the head in flexion, if you're lucky enough to have a bolster, you can just stay here. You can even bend your knees if your hamstrings are super tight. So I just want you to be aware of your inner knee. We are going to be stressing the tissues, the medial meniscus in the inner knee. We're going to stress it in a healthy fashion. But if you get any pain, it's again a warning. So just bring your legs a bit closer together and that should take any pressure away from the knees. So let's take a long deep inhale. Exhale, rounding the back in flexion. If you have no spine issues, it's 4 minutes. And when we're in our yin practice, we're looking for our inner peace. And our inner peace is so vital to our well-being. We're always doing something, going somewhere, come back from somewhere. We never really find time to just be. And we often, especially in these days, have concern and worries, and they all disturb our inner peace. We want to transform our life and be free from problems. We must learn to transform our minds. When things go wrong in our lives and we encounter difficult situations, we tend to regard the situation itself as the problem. But in reality, whatever problems we experience come from the mind. If we were to respond to difficulties with a positive or peaceful mind, they would not be problems for us. Indeed, we may even come to regard them as challenges or opportunities for growth and development. Problems arise only if we respond to the situations with a negative state of mind. Therefore, if we want to transform our life and be free from problems, we must learn to transform our mind. Sufferings, problems, worries, unhappiness, and even pain all exist within our mind. They are unpleasant feelings which are part of the mind. Through controlling and purifying our mind, we can stop them once and for all. You've almost completed your 3 minutes. Just have a few more beautiful breaths. And then make a decision as to whether you want to go that extra minute. So those who have had enough in their 3 minutes, please feel free to rise up a little bit. Those who want that extra minute, let's find another edge. Take a long, deep inhale. And exhale takes us deeper. Your last 3 breaths. And again, we move slowly to come out of this posture, nice and slowly, all the way up. And then we'll do our windshield wipers again. So we'll pick up the knees, bring them together, hands behind, separate the feet, and very slowly. You feel that? So just nice and slowly. Just awareness. So some days your body may feel super flexible, and some days it may feel quite stiff and uncomfortable. And that's often that fascia, that connective tissue. So don't judge yourself, just move and enjoy. Okay, long legs. Fingertips behind. I'm going to take a little back bend and lift up the heart and have a little back bend. And then come back to neutral. And again, lift up the heart and have a little back bend. And then come back to neutral. And then one more, lift up the heart and have the back bend. And then come back to neutral. We're just going to work the spine a little bit because we're going to go into a back bend now. So let's come onto all fours. And you'll have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And we're just going to work the spine, some nice articulations of the spine. So we lift the head up towards the ceiling and lift the buttocks up to the ceiling. We don't move, we just move the spine. Exhale, rounding the back, gaze to the navel, stretch the spine. Gaze is up, buttocks are up, back bend. Exhale, rounding and engaging. Really feeling the spine, the articulation of that spine. It's a beautiful posture. Just take it nice and slow. And then our next posture, we'll be just simply laying on our tummies. And you'll have your bolsters with you if you want to, or your cushions. Then we come to lay on our tummies. First of all, bring your hands underneath your forehead. And settle here. So just check how the spine is feeling today. And then options, if you have a bolster or cushions, just going to bring it in towards you, right into the chest, and drape your arms over the bolster. Again, it's a 4-minute hold, it's a back bend. This is quite a restorative back bend if you're with your cushions. If you have your feet together, you'll take this back bend through the entire spine. And if you separate your feet, then it'll be more pronounced in the lower back. So see which feels good to you. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to take you into a posture called Sphinx. So we're just going to take away any props that we may have and bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and lift up the chest and just be aware of that back bend. So we're very often in forward bends. We very seldom do backward bends. So this is a really nice backward bend. Quite comfortable one. Malcolm stayed over the bolster because he prefers to do that backward bend. He's still getting the benefit. But as you go through your yoga, your yin yoga, you become a little bit more flexible and you want to find possibly that deeper edge. Now those with spine issues, bulging disc, herniated discs, this is quite a therapeutic posture for you, so don't be too concerned. Nice, easy breathing. Remember, the golden rule is no pain, just an awareness that you're in that posture and slightly out of your comfort zone. You can, of course, support your head if you wanted to with your hands, or you can even put a cushion or a block underneath your forehead if the neck is becoming too involved. The buttocks are relaxed. They may have tensed up. Doesn't matter if they have, but just see what happens if you relax them. And then we have 1 more minute. And the extra minute is either in the position that you're in, or bring the heels in towards the buttocks. That will increase your back bend, whichever position you're in, or if it's all not deep enough for you, I'm taking you into seal. So just take your arms wide as if you are a seal, point the fingertips away and lift up. And this is the deepest compression of your spine. So your pubic bone remains on the mat, and this may be quite intense. But if you're not feeling your edge in any of the previous postures, I think you'll feel your edge here. You get an added bonus of the stretch in the belly in this posture. But it's quite yang in the arms. It's quite strong in the arms because the arms are locked. So we now have completed our 4 minutes. We're all going to take the props away, lay the tummy down onto the mat, hands underneath the forehead, and we just stay here for a moment or two just to check out that rebound, just see what's been happening. And from here, I'm going to move you back into child posture. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Now don't let the elbows splay out. Bring them in towards the rib cage. Lift up your head, your chest, and your heart. And slowly rise up through that cobra. And then we come onto the knees. Now here's where you're going to just stop. Oh, you'll need to stop because that connective tissue needs time for you to stop. So walk your knees in a little bit. Stop again, and then child posture. So just draw the hips back, all the way back, and rest here. You don't like being on your knees. Here is your option. You come onto your back, and you draw your knees in, and you have exactly the same position. So lots of options. So our next posture will be long-legged again. So we're going to rise very slowly up. And we're going to work into the upper part of the body as well as the lower part of the body. There will be options and alternatives. So the legs are long. I'm going to take the right leg across the left knee. You're going to come onto the outer edge of your foot so that that knee drops open. Many of you will stay exactly here, and that's a great posture. And some of you will go a little bit deeper. So the leg that's in front of you, the long leg, you'll take that same hand to the side and you'll just flick this foot behind you. And then you'll shuffle so your buttocks are on the mat. And you'll come into this posture. So there's two. I'll show you the first one again. First one is this. This is the long leg. And down, flick. And this is the second. Check out this bottom knee is happy. And then we just shuffle so we're on to our sit bones. Now we're going to have a nice straight spine. We're going to breathe. I'm going to bring my timer in. So these postures are about 2 or 3 minutes maybe. We'll see how we go. So option one is just stay here. It's deep enough. You're really marinating in those hips, whether you have one leg or both legs. You'll notice that Malcolm cannot cross his leg over due to hip injuries. So he's kept it to the side of the leg and just dropped the knee open, which is a great option. Now, if you want to work into the upper body, I have my right knee on top. I'm going to take my arms out in front of me. And the same knee that's on top, the elbow goes over, and we give ourselves a hug. This is option two. The spine still stays long and straight. And option three for those upper arms and shoulders is long arms. One elbow over the other. Interweave your arms. And we have this posture. You're going to feel a lot more stretch in that upper back and shoulders. And option number 4 would be lift up. It's eagle posture with the arms, and eagle sometimes soar, and we lift up with this posture. Now, whichever posture you're in is your posture. So just lift into any posture that you want. Now bring your gaze inward. We're in multiple positions now. So where are you feeling the deepest sensation? Breathe. Remember, you can always return to the different options. A couple more breaths. And then we'll unravel, and now we'll take the arms out wide and push the walls away from us. So almost like we could just push any problems away from us. We don't need them. We all have problems in life, some big, some small. We all have problems, but we don't need them. We don't need to worry about them. Let's just push them away. And then we'll bring the hands behind us, and we'll just lean back if you've got that double leg cross, and long legs. And then we're just going to do exactly the same. So the opposite foot comes over, and we take this option 1, which is your long leg, lean to the long leg, and flick. And again, I'll show you that. Sometimes it looks a bit weird. So both legs long, left over, right, staying here, or lean to that long leg and flick behind you. Then shuffle the buttocks down. Options, you're going to stay nice straight spine, so it's a great posture, whichever posture you're in. leaving your hands where you are. So if you took this same posture previously, take it again. If you did use the arms, we'll take the arms long in front of us, left knee on top, left elbow on top, hug. Your option 1. Your option 2, long arms, left over right, and eagle. Now sometimes your bone structure will not allow you to do this, so I don't want you to judge yourself. Anatomically, your bone structure may stop you. Nothing to do with your muscles, your joints, or your fascia. Sometimes your bone structure. And if you want to have the eagle soaring, we lift up, and the eagle can soar. And then we have that stillness, that awareness, and the breath. Where is your deepest sensation right at this moment? Couple more breaths. And then release your posture. And then let's take the arms wide and push anything that we're holding on to away from us. We all hold on to lots of emotions. Let's push them away. We don't need to hold on to all these emotions that trouble us. Just push them away. And then slowly release. Hands behind so you can leave the posture. And a nice little rub of those connective tissues and the fascia, and just give yourself a little rub in the shoulders. Okay, we're moving down to the mat into a nice little hip opener. So it's gentle hip opener. Gentle as you want it to be. Okay. So you're going to lay down on our mats. You may want to have a little knee hug at this stage, so just feel free to have a little knee hug and a little roll around on those lower backs. And then bring your feet flat to the mat. Take your right leg up to the ceiling and take your right ankle across your left knee. And this may be all that you want to do. Or you may want to go deeper. You've created a triangle. Take your right hand through the triangle, lift up the left leg, and bring your hands behind the knees and draw in. Now your head may lift up a little bit off the mat, so you can always put a little pillow underneath that. And we just stay here and breathe. Feel the back ligaments just spreading across the mat. You can, of course, go deeper by taking your hands in front of your kneecap, just below the kneecap. This will intensify the posture. So take your options. Lots of options for this one. Foot can be flat onto the mat, left foot flat. Behind the thighs, with the hands, in front of the knees, below the knees. Lots of options. The top foot is flexed, so the toes are pointing to the ceiling, just to give an extra protection layer to that knee that's bent. Now let the ligaments of the back just spread in this posture. Back is packed with ligaments. Let them just spread as we open up the hips. Find that inner peace. It's always with us. Just a few more breaths. And then we release that foot to the mat if it's not already there. And bring both feet flat to the mat. Let's have another knee hug. So draw the knees in and have a little roll around. And just think how wonderful the body is, how it allows us to get into these postures. Bring the feet flat to the mat. The right foot stays flat onto the mat, the left leg goes up. Ankle crosses over the right knee. Option 1, you're staying here, but flex the foot so the toes point to the ceiling. Just giving that added bit of protection to the knee joint. This is your option 1. Your option 2 is through the triangle, lift up the leg, around the back of the thigh. This is your option 2. Remember, you can have a pillow under your head if you need to. And your option 3 would be hands in front of the kneecap, just below the kneecap. And you'll find that's a lot deeper. So just take whatever option you want. Breathe. Bring your awareness to the body and think about all that connected tissue and fascia opening up, allowing the nutrients of the body to flow more easily, hydrating, cleaning out toxins. Just a few more breaths. And then slowly take that right foot to the mat, unless it's there already. Left foot to the mat, knees into chest, and have a little rock and a roll. And then we're just going to take a nice flat or gentle twist. So laying on your back. You can have your cushions or your bolsters to support you if you want to. Just drop the knees to the cushion or the bolster. Or if you don't want the bolster or the cushion, just drop the knees to the right. And settle into this gentle twist. You can even pop a cushion in between the knees if that feels more accessible to you, depending on your hips. And you can have your head in any direction that you want it to be in, away from the knees, towards the knees, or up towards the ceiling. Breathe in that peace. It's your final posture. Just breathe in that peace. And then slowly onto the back, knees into chest. Maybe lift the hips up a little bit before you do that, just to really let the spine release. And then feet flat, and just going in the opposite direction. So knees to the left. Use any supports that you may want. Here's a really nice quote that you may want to take away with you. Worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It only takes away today's peace. So breathe in that peace. Just a few more breaths. Just slowly roll onto the back. Maybe lift up the hips a little bit to settle the spine down. Your final knee hug, draw it in, and your final roll around on those sacroiliac joints. I'm going to take you into a body awareness relaxation. Please stay with me if you can. It won't be long. Make sure you're warm. So socks may be desirable, blanket, pillow for the head. So the body deserves a little peace after being worked. So let's give that body a little bit of peace. So bring your feet flat to the mat. Have your legs nice and long. If your spine doesn't like this, there's no reason why you can't just bring your feet flat to the mat again. Separate the legs nice and wide. Separate the arms wide, palms facing to the ceiling. Be aware of the whole of the body laying on the mat. Whole of the body laying on the mat. I bring the awareness to the pressure point of the head on the mat. Take your awareness to your shoulders. And allow the shoulders to just spread and soften. Be aware of the upper arms, the elbows, the wrists, the hands, all fingers and thumbs. And allow both arms to just soften and release. Bring your awareness to your upper back, middle back, and the lower back, and just allow the whole of the back to soften. Take your awareness now to your heart center. Be aware of your heart beating. into the abdomen. Feel the rise and fall of your belly with the breath. The buttocks relax. Bring your awareness now to the thighs, the back thighs, and the front thighs. Just relaxing, releasing, and softening. Back of the knees, front of the knees, calf muscles, shin bones, ankles, soles of the feet, all of the toes. Now take your awareness to your beautiful faces. Soften in the temple. Soften all the muscles around the eyes. Bridge your nose. Lower your mouth. Tongue inside your mouth. And let the jaw relax. Be aware of the whole of the body. The whole of the body moving into peace. I am at peace. Peace is within me. I am at peace. Peace is within me. So feel free to stay for as long as you like. I'm going to take my leave of you.